Good morning. Hey, I just got ready to sit down here at my sewing machine and do a repair on some pajamas for one of my grandchildren. Aren't these just adorable? Little different colors of dinosaurs everywhere. Well, they just happen to be a favorite for this little girl. And she had an accident the other day that caused her zipper to split all the way down, and it put a split in the crotch. I'm trying to get this where you can see it. Put a split in the crotch of her pajamas. Now, if you look, now how many times would somebody just say, well, they're not good anymore, I'm getting rid of them, and they would pitch them? Other people would say, well, I'll take it to a seamstress and I will let her repair the zipper. Back when I did alterations in clothing design for years, one of the biggest money makers I had was replacing zippers because it happens to all of us. Now, what I did to save money, because not only do I believe in being very frugal, my daughter believes in being very frugal. So what I did was I repaired this zipper. Now, whoops, let me see if I can get this there. Can you see a little better there maybe? Okay, now what I did was the pull tab was completely off and the zipper completely apart when I got these. Now, if you look closely, you will see that what I did was I shortened one side of this zipper, just maybe 1/4 of an inch. And it'll depend on what type of pull tab you have, how much you might have to shorten this. But what you do is you shorten one side of the zipper only about 1/4 of an inch. You slide your pull tab. You just put this little part of the pull tab here, slide it on one side, the longer side of the zipper. And with this side trimmed down 1/4 of an inch, you can get the long side on and then just gently pull it up and the short side will go on. Then you want to take a needle and thread and stitch over and over and over that zipper at the very bottom, so that if you ever have your clothing item come apart again, your zipper is going to hold that pull tab on. This is just about the easiest thing I've ever found in order to be able to repair a zipper and not have to, go through the process of replacing the entire zipper. Replacing a zipper isn't bad, but I'm telling you, sewing supplies have gotten so expensive. If I can afford to repair something rather than replace it, that's what I'm going to do. Now that we've got the zipper repaired, we're going to go and we're going to find our crotch seam. Get your zipper pulled back this way. Pull your zipper back out of the way. And we're going to stitch up this seam. Repairing your clothing rather than going out and buying new, discarding the old. It's going to save you so much money. We're going to back tack it here. And then we're going to go forward. And you are going to sew this seam up past, oops, let me adjust my, you're going to sew your seam up past the zipper. So keep your zipper pulled back. And take this seam clear up beyond the bottom of the zipper. And again, you're going to back tack that. Okay, we're going to trim our thread off. And you see here, oops, that now all we have to do is repair the seam, restitch this down along on the zipper. And she will have her favorite jammies back and be all set. It's very upsetting when your favorite pair of jammies get destroyed or torn. It's just, I don't know about you, but if I had jammies that were this cute, I certainly would be upset by it. So we are now going to just line our stitching up with the old stitching. And the beauty about kids' pajamas, they're made out of this fluffy fabric. And you could even do this repair even if you didn't have thread that was the right color, because the stitching pulls right down in this fabric. Nobody's ever going to even be able to tell if you're not using the right thread. Okay, now once we get there, this is a plastic zipper. So one thing we can do is lower our needle, raise our presser foot, spin this around, make sure that the fabric is all flat underneath, and we're going to just sew across the zipper. It's plastic, your needle will go right through it. And this is just going to give a little more strength so that if she pulls a little too hard, she's not going to pull that seam or that zipper apart. Again, pull your fabric down to where your seam comes together like it's supposed to. Stitch up right where the previous stitching was. Back tack. And you're done. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And now when I take these back, I get to be her hero again. The zipper goes down right where we stopped it. The zipper goes clear up. So there you go. She's got her favorite jammies are repaired back together, and she's going to be a happy, happy little girl when this comes back. So this is just one thing that you can do in order to save money. Okay, and that is just one of the things I want to stress to you. If you want to save money, doing your own clothing repair or making your own clothes sometimes can be very beneficial. Now, what I found a lot recently is that with trying to make your own clothes, sometimes the fabrics and the sewing materials have gotten incredibly expensive. You can't always have a big savings when you make your clothes unless you buy your fabric at really good prices. But you can have clothes that fit your body a whole lot better if you make your own. Now, as far as, especially with kids are going to ruin their clothes. That's just nature. Kids play, they have fun, and they're going to have tears. They're going to lose buttons. They're going to break their zippers. They're going to do all kinds of things to their clothes. Every time you go out and replace, and I don't know what somebody spent for this. I really don't, but they're the footy jammies. So I just know from experience, and I don't shop in expensive stores. So from experience, even like your lower dollar stores, you're going to pay, maybe on sale you might get them for $10. Most likely you're going to be paying $15.99, something this cute. Who knows, they might have had to pay more. But every time you have to go out and say buy a new set of pajamas, it's like $15 out of your grocery budget, you know? So I would encourage all of you, especially if you're young moms, learn how to repair your kids' clothes. Learn how to hem pants. Learn how to replace zippers or repair zippers. And if you do, you're going to save yourself a lot of money, and it doesn't take that much time to do it. And you don't need a big, expensive sewing machine to do it. The machine I worked on today is an old sewing machine that was probably a Japanese model that was probably built somewhere around the 40s or 50s. It goes forwards, backwards, and this one does have a zigzag. I bought it off eBay for about 25 bucks. And that's where I've gotten, I do have a couple good sewing machines, but a lot of times I go back to my old tried and true vintage machines because they're sturdy, they have all metal gears in them. Like I said, you can buy them for about $25 off of eBay. And a lot of them I've actually bought models that were being sold for parts because they were either rusted up or they were not operating correctly. And they're such a simple machine. I buy them, tear them down, rework the machines, and they sew just like new. So, and I mean, you saw how easily I could stitch through this today, and this is not a super heavy fabric. It's pretty easy to sew through, but I do denim, I do jeans, I do everything on this machine, and it's been great for me. But everybody out there, man, woman, even kids, I've been in the process of teaching some of my grandchildren how to sew, and they're pretty young, but you can all do this, and you can do it for not a lot of money. But since I was sitting down to do this today, I decided that there were probably a lot of moms out there that could use just a small tutorial, or grandmothers. If you're the grandmother and you do the repairs and the sewing in the family, if you've never had to fix a zipper like this, then now you've got another tool to put in your sewing basket. So, not going to take much of your time. I know you're all busy. Thanks for stopping in and see me. You come back and we'll talk again soon.